It's Thursday, November 6, 2025. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. In this video, I want to show you a big buildup of rain that we're going to have in parts of the Caribbean. We'll take a look at the chance of tropical development as we round out the hurricane season, and a big time front parts of Canada and the U.S. with some colder weather trying to creep down to the south. And welcome to all the new subscribers. So many new subscribers. If you're subscribed, I'll put out those updates. I hang with you. I don't leave anyone after the hurricane season. If there's things like earthquakes, anything popping up unusual, you'll get those notifications first. Now, let me show you some of the spotty showers we've had. We've had some from overnight and this morning, including parts of Haiti and Jamaica as the recovery relief efforts still ongoing, scattered about. No signs of development, but we will see the chance of rain building somewhat next week. We're going to watch that very carefully as some of the rain builds in parts of the Western Caribbean and Central America. I want to show you the 10-day rain total, and then we have several areas we're watching. Atlantic region of Canada, boy, over toward Newfoundland. We had some of the big winds from yesterday at times, another system clipping by, and then swinging back here, a new system that's going to be working its way through parts of Canada and the U.S., and a big drop in temperatures, which I'll show you. Again, not only to the north, we're going to watch out for some temperature changes as we swing through the Gulf into the Caribbean as we go forward. Now, as far as tropical development goes, the hurricane season still goes through the end of November. I'm not seeing any big signs of development. This is the European model showing the possibility of a tropical depression. It's really not even seeing that. So just seeing a slight chance, just kind of saying, hey, keep an eye in this area. But this is typical for this time of year. There's nothing big. I'm not seeing any colors popping up that are showing any high chance of development. That is some good news to pass along. With that said, what the European model is kind of picking up on in the American model, the rain that's really going to build. Now, this is a 10-day rain total. So this takes us into the middle and almost end of next week, right? Actually, it does. It takes us way out in time, past a week, really into, let's see, doing my math, into the following weekend, not this weekend and next weekend. And you can see, again, 10-day rain total. These totals will be very substantial in some spots because the rain is going to build in here. Not seeing signs of development, but just a heads up, Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua, San Andres, Providencia, even parts of Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. For a 10-day total, we're going to have some spots of 250 millimeters of rain or 10 inches of rain. So I want to show you this. We'll go out in time with that additional rain. But again, not seeing development. Of course, the last name storm, as we well know, the last hurricane, Melissa. The next name on the list is Nestor, but no signs of that at this point. Olga, Pablo, Rebecca. Hopefully all names we will not be using, and hopefully we don't see any name systems out there. Occasionally there's kind of a rogue system, but what we really watch out for, especially this time of year, are some areas of flooding, and that's what we're going to see. So let me take you out in time. Here's what's going on first. Spotty showers, Bahamas, Florida Keys through Cuba, Jamaica, Cayman Islands, hit or miss Eastern Caribbean. There's some of the additional rain that is going to start to move in. Spotty showers as well, Central America. So that's today. Let's flip over into the time frame tomorrow. There's the rain I've been highlighting the last few days that will be pushing into the Eastern Caribbean, getting closer tomorrow. Hit or miss showers, watching that elsewhere. Now, by Saturday, things start to build in a couple spots. We have the rain moving into parts of the Eastern Caribbean. We'll go over those totals, the 3-day totals, in a second. And then you start to see some of the rain building. Here's Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Honduras. So watching the Western Caribbean, not for development, but for this rain building. And then you see by Sunday, there's some of the additional rain, even Puerto Rico, U.S. and British Virgin Islands, St. Kitts and Nevis, down through Grenada, for example, some of the rain. And there it is building, Honduras and Nicaragua. Then as we work our way into early next week, you see the rain building further. We have some of the rain, Haiti, over toward the Dominican Republic. We'll monitor carefully. And then as we work our way into Tuesday, it builds, watching Belize on the edge of it over toward Honduras, keeping an eye on Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, southern Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, the Dominican Republic. Rain chance building all the way south through Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. Even the ABC Islands will see a little uptick in the rain, and watching northern sections of Colombia. Not seeing this forming into anything, but this will be a spot to watch, and I'll be able to highlight very closely where we could see that flood potential as we go forward, and that's what I'll continue to track for you. Now to the north, in some of those big systems, again, I've been mentioning early in the week and now late in the week, these systems clipping by the Atlantic region of Canada. Here's another one here, here's another one here. This is the one right through here that's going to start to build. You see it there. This is by tomorrow. On the back side of it, we're getting some colder air. This kind of dips down to the south. You see it right here, this front here. There's the colder air. So you can see some of that snow that's going to be pushing through parts of Canada. Another system back here, but the tail end of these fronts, they leave some of the moisture, parts of South Florida, back through parts of the Bahamas, and then eventually over toward Bermuda. Then by the time we get into Saturday, you can see this kind of working its way through. Here we go, right through the Atlantic region of Canada, increased rain in Bermuda. And then you can see here, it's going to almost be a series of fronts kind of wrapping around, so we could see by the time we get into Sunday, setting up along the east coast of the United States, trying to work into Canada. Behind this, look at that snow back toward the Great Lakes starting to pull in. That's the colder air that is going to be sweeping in, especially as we get deeper into the weekend for some spots and into early next week. A surge of some colder air moving down at nighttime along the southern coast of the U.S. as you get closer to the Gulf. By the time we get into Tuesday morning, we're going to be looking at some temperatures Tuesday morning right in through here. That'll be down in the mid to upper 30s in some spots. It's going to be kind of that first cold outbreak back through Mexico. You see some of that colder air that will be moving in by the time we get into Tuesday morning. So sharply colder air for a lot of folks here have seen some fronts, but this will be the biggest one of the season so far. And then we'll be watching back through the Caribbean how these fronts kind of clip us by, especially as we get into December and January. Not quite there yet. Seas elevated with all that stuff that continues to move off toward the Atlantic. As we work our way into the weekend, this here is tomorrow, but into the weekend as that rain builds, the Atlantic passageways anywhere from Anguilla, Antigua, Barbuda, South, Barbados, St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago, it will get bumpier. So deeper into the weekend, early next week, and a little choppier working its way through the Caribbean. We'll see the seas building somewhat in the Caribbean next week, especially as some of that rain builds in the Western Caribbean. So these are the 3-day totals. Short term, you see over toward the Florida Keys, back through the Bahamas, Cuba, some spotty showers around. Generally not the highest amounts. Cayman Islands, Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, hit or miss. In Jamaica, though, if we get a shower, quick downpour like we had yesterday in spots, some spots 10 to maybe 25 millimeters of some rain. Monitoring that carefully. It is so good to hear from all of you in the comment section from Jamaica. Then we swing back through here. We'll have some of that rain starting to work in this weekend, right? The rain chance goes up in the Eastern Caribbean, and you see Guadeloupe, Dominica, Martinique, St. Lucia. Eventually, we'll have some totals over 50 millimeters or 2 inches of rain. Same thing as we work our way from St. Vincent, the Grenadines, Barbados, Grenada through Trinidad and Tobago, northeastern Venezuela. As we get into the weekend, we'll have some spots over 75 millimeters of rain. We'll keep an eye on that flood threat, and we'll see some spotty showers, Guyana and Suriname especially, closer to the water, northern sections. We'll keep an eye on the ABC Islands and may see a couple of showers moving by, and then we'll just monitor this area as that rain is going to be building further over the next 10 days. As I mentioned, Mexico City to the north, we're mainly dry and through here. Southern California, much of Mexico with the exception of the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, Texas mainly on the dry side, but these are the fronts that clip by and that colder air will be moving in as I was showing you just a few maps ago. Northern stretches again as these fronts pass by, inch or two of rain possible, but of course on the backside of some of this action, we're dealing with some snow this time of year with some of that colder weather. So Jamaica, we have a 40% chance of a shower storm today, a 30% chance tomorrow, and a 40% chance for Saturday. Next week, not seeing development, but the rain chance is going to bump up a little bit further, and that's what we'll be tracking together. Same thing in the Cayman Islands, about a 40% chance of a shower passing by today. But you see Trinidad and Tobago, by the time we get into Saturday, that rain chance, it gets higher, up to a 60%. And you see how it builds in Barbados, 30% chance today and about a 50% chance tomorrow. St. Lucia, 30% chance today, but by Saturday, that rain chance up to 60%. That's that moisture from the Atlantic moving in. Grenada, 50% chance tomorrow, but by the weekend, up to at least a 60% chance of rain. Same thing, St. Vincent the Grenadines, not a whole lot today. Really keeping an eye on that weekend for that increased chance of rain. Martinique, 40% chance tomorrow and a 60% chance on Saturday. Starting to build as well as we go through the end of the week into the weekend. For us in Dominica, we swing to the north, Guadeloupe, Rain chance minimal today, but by Saturday, about a 50% chance. More to the north, Antigua, Barbuda, holding at about 20% for now. We'll eventually see the rain chance bumping up a little bit more Sunday into Monday. Same thing, St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat, back through Anguilla, St. Bart's. In the short term, that rain chance is pretty low. Just a 20% chance, St. Martin, Ceiba, and Statia, back through Puerto Rico the next 2 days. Rain chance staying on the small side, about a 20% chance. 30% chance the next 2 days back through the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Bahamas, kind of spotty showers, especially central, southern sections, and we'll see about a 30% chance. Turks and Caicos leading into the weekend. The Dominican Republic by Saturday, about a 50% chance, but we're going to keep an eye on next week, the Dominican Republic and Haiti, because the rain chance could be even higher. Today, Haiti, we're running at a 30% chance, but we've had those showers this morning. You've been watching that, especially along the southern peninsula. Belize, rain chance 30 to 40% as of now in Belize. We're going to see how much of this rain gets close as we work our way into next week. So I'll monitor any potential of any flooding concerns. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, we have a chance of getting some showers, sometimes at night as well. 30 to 40% chance, upwards of a 50% chance as we work our way deeper to the week tomorrow into the upcoming weekend. Guyana, 40 to 50% chance, 40% chance over the next couple of days in Suriname, 30% chance as we work our way back through Cuba, a 60% chance in Costa Rica and Panama. And again, Central America, we'll be watching next week with that increased chance of rain. For now, Nicaragua, a 50% chance. For now, in Honduras, about a 30 to 40% chance. We work our way back through Guatemala and El Salvador. Rain chance the next 2 days at 50%. We're mainly dry again. Mexico City, I mentioned to the north as we swing back through Texas, Yucatan Peninsula, some spotty showers and storms possible anywhere from Merida back through Cancun. Northern Colombia, 50% chance today. Building some, though, northern Venezuela by this weekend with some of that moisture around. And then by Saturday in Bermuda, that's when that rain chance will be shooting up. Mainly dry today, but upwards of a 70% chance by the time we get into Saturday. So some areas of rain on the move right now. That rain threat, though, will be building next week. I'll show you that 10-day rain total. So monitor for any flooding in parts of the Western Caribbean and Central America. No signs of development. And of course, that big front sweeping through parts of Canada and the U.S. with some cold weather getting all the way down toward the Gulf, especially as we work our way into early next week. So a lot to track. Thank you for being part of this community. I hope you stay safe. Have a good day ahead.